it's also been quite common in the last 3 years to just go out to tender for it every year, but people are realising now again that there's much more efficiency in going through the process once and selecting somebody, a supplier for the next 3 years or 5 years. So it's coming back to that sort of norm again, but that has been very common in my whole career throughout the industry, and probably more so now that the cost base has changed and everything's been stripped out. There was a lot of dead wood, so to speak, throughout the industry, and a lot of that's been stripped out now. So it is quite common to get a longer term contract, but it's also a pretty lengthy process to go through to actually go out to the market and select a contractor, but also on the other side of the fence to actually secure that type of long-term contract can be quite an effort as well, and quite a cost to your business to, when you think about the amount of resource that's involved and the length of time to pull it together. I was looking at one, worked on it for about 6 weeks, and we had about a dozen people, maybe 15 people all in working on it, and that was an offshore maintenance contract, and that was in a new sector, which is the renewable sector, the offshore renewable sector. But the process for that was the pre-qualification and the actual tender, which was around 6 weeks, and then the award will be within the next 6 months, and the work won't start until 2020, but the contract runs for 5 years from 2020. So that was quite a process, compared to even what we're used to in oil and gas, moving into that renewable sector, and that's an emerging market for sure now. And in terms of the work that you're talking about, and the inspections and the vessels, there's more vessels required, there's different vessels required, and all of that needs maintained and inspected and certified and classified, So that's another area worth looking at, offshore renewable energy.
So, okay, that's helpful. And then I guess just some other ones that we saw on our list that I just want to check to see if you had dealt with or had familiarity with on the diving side was Allsea and Miami Divers.
Yeah, Allseas. So it's a JV with Miami Divers, is it, or is it two separate companies? I know Allseas, but I haven't heard of Miami Divers. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, I think they might have come together or something, and I think they might be called Subsea.
But, yeah, well, Allseas, the company I worked for, Harima Marine Contractors, was owned by the Harima family, one of which they had a fallout around about 15 years ago, and one of the sons went away and set up the business called Allseas, and went into direct competition with their family, which was Harima, a Dutch company. So they're Dutch origin, those guys.
Got it. Okay. They're the west coast of the U.S., right?
Yeah. I mean, they're all over the globe.
Right.
Those guys, the Allseas guys. Yeah, they're doing some pretty significant projects around the world, and have done in the past.
So you mentioned like the commercial and the technical aspects of it when you're selecting a provider. Is that the most important aspect, and price is second, or does price ever trump?
No, I mean, people say it doesn't, but yeah, I mean, ultimately price does trump everything, and certainly in the last few years where it has been a tough downturn. But to be honest, you can only go so far with price. You've got to have something capable to perform the task, and it's got to be done safely and environmentally, proficient. So, you can't try and cut corners and go for some of these contractors that are cheaper, but generally speaking, you end up paying for it in the long run. So, it's pretty much it's a very specialised market, and there's pretty much a few of the majors, obviously, that are known and that actually have all the relevant experience and classification.